trigger you, that's what I'm trying to do. Let me trigger you.
Let me trigger you.
Just let me trigger you, that's what I'm trying to do. Let me trigger you.
Let me trigger you.
Let me trigger you, that's what I'm trying to do. Let me trigger you.
Let me trigger you.
Just let me trigger you, that's what I'm trying to do. Let me trigger you.
Let me trigger you.
Let me trigger you, that's what I'm trying to do. Let me trigger you.
Let me trigger you.
Just let me trigger you, that's what I'm trying to do. Let me trigger you.
Let me trigger you.
And I know that I normally use this page for like posting music. I'm working on, creating different pages so that you can come to one channel, get just music, one channel, get the podcast, one channel, and get like messages, things like that. I'm working on it, so y'all be patient with me. But I want to figure out a way to make it so that you guys can just subscribe to one page. But while I'm doing that, I'm just doing a routine checkup. I'm checking up on you, and just want to make sure that you are doing good. Want to make sure that your head is in the right headspace, because 2024 has been a doozy. It's been ups and downs, just like every year. It's been hard. You had to fight to get through it. Sometimes you wanted to cry. Sometimes you wanted to laugh. Sometimes you wanted to fight. Sometimes you wanted to just be vulnerable. Sometimes you wanted to be guarded. Like, it was full of everything this year. And while you were dealing with what you were dealing with, life just kept going on. It didn't wait. It didn't wait for you to get it together. It just kept going on. Just bills kept coming. The job was here. The job was there. People came in. People left. It was a year to be remembered. For me at least. I can't put that on everybody else. But here's the reality. This year, during the Watch Night services, they're going to release a corporate word over to everybody in the sanctuary. And that is beautiful. That is a thing that we have done. We have made it a tradition for the most part, getting a word for the year. But there's also a personal word that God might want to give to you. And it is your job to seek his face and to pray and get that word that is for you. God may give you multiple words. He may give you a complete sentence. He might give you just one word, but it's not my job to tell you what that word is. It's your job to get to him so he can tell you. And believe it or not, he wants to tell you what the word is. He wants to tell you, he wants to speak to you. He wants to tell you how he feels about you, and that sounds cliche for some of those who don't fully understand, but it is a blessing that the creator of all things, the creator of wisdom, the creator of light, the creator of the galaxies, the creator of everything wants to have a relationship with you. And you don't need me to get to him. The only thing I can do is testify of his goodness and present it to you so that you can go to him for yourself. You don't have to go through the middleman. You don't got to go through this person. You don't got to go through that person. Jesus made it possible for you to have access to him. And all you got to do is believe. Believe in what Jesus did. Believe that he came down into this earth. God wrapped himself in flesh just for you. Believe it. Believe that he came and he taught people, but they didn't recognize who he was. Believe that he bare the weight of your sins on his body and stretched his arms out on the cross. Believe that he waited for the thief to recognize him. Believe that they put him in the tomb. Believe that 3 days later he got up with redemption power, all power in his hands. Believe that he restored you back to himself, and now he is seated on the right hand of God, forever making intercession for people like me, for people like you, people who make mistakes, people who are trying to live a life that pleases him, people who are hungry to do the right thing, but their surroundings don't call for the right thing. There are people who God is praying for right now that might be on the verge of just wanting to throw the towel in because they don't see how to make it out. But I'm telling you, God is praying for you. God has people in this earth praying for you. God has dogs and cats crying out for people. God is just a wonderful Father, and He wants you to know that He is fully involved in your life. For real, for real. And I just wanted you guys to know that. I just wanted you to know He is fully involved in whatever need you have. And He just doesn't want you to be afraid to come to Him, okay? So don't be afraid to go to Him. Not just in 2025. You can start right now. You can start right now. Today can be the day that everything in your life changes because you decided that you were going to believe, and so I wish that for you. I pray that for you, and I desire that for you. But not only that, for those of you who do believe, this could have, my bad. But this year also is for those who, especially those who do believe. This is the time where you have to ask yourself, did you learn the lesson? Did you get what you were supposed to learn this year? I know that we got the New Year's resolutions, and I just also need you to understand that God honors, the things that we care about too. New year, new me. He loves that. You know why He loves it? Because you love it. He loves it because you love it. He loves it because these are the moments where our faith is engaged. These are the moments where our faith is engaged. New year, new me. Oh my goodness, you want to be new? You want to try something new? But most of the time, God is saying, try me. Try me. And for those of us who have been trying God, hey, try Him more. What are you going to do differently this year? We say that this year is going to be the blessed me. This year is going to be the best me. This year is going to be the me that I tap into the wealth and tap into the streams of income and tap into this, and I'm going to get that this year. Prophesy to me what I'm going to get, what I'm going to have, and that's beautiful. And I'm sure I'm not the only one that wants to prophesy to you, but this year I'm not going to prophesy to you. This year, I'm going to say, did you learn the lesson from last year? Because a lot of people didn't learn the lesson, so they got to come into the new year proving that they learned the lesson from last year. Just learn the lesson. That's all you got to do this year. Show that you learned the lesson. Show that you learned the lesson. When the opportunity to fall comes up, stand tall. When the opportunity to slip comes up, stand firm. When the opportunity to turn back comes around, move forward. This is the opportunity for you to show that you learned the lesson. People are going to be out there doing all sorts of crazy mess. They're going to be out there doing all sorts of crazy things. But this is your year to walk in a new type of favor. I know that sounds cliche. They said that last year too. Remember that? This is your year. The year before that, this is your year. The year before that, this is your year. And the year before that, this is your year. Matter of fact, since the day I was born, every year has been my year. The year for what, though? That's the question. What has it been my year for? Is it my year to cry because I cried every year? Is it my year to laugh because I laughed every year? Is it going to be my year to tap into the bag because that's been my year every year? Every year I've had ups and downs. Every year I've had struggles and I've had victories. Every single year I come out on top to say, I'm still here. So that means every year there is a lesson involved. And before I'm asking God to give me billions and millions of dollars, because that is a question in my heart, I need it. And God knows that we need it. But more than that, are we asking Him for wisdom? More than that, are we asking Him for understanding and how to walk in grace and how to love our brothers and our sisters? Because those are the things that God is looking for. I know you want the money. Congratulations. I know you want the nice car. Congratulations. I know you want that dream job. Congratulations. But do you know how to love your brothers and your sisters? I don't know if you know, but love isn't just accepting things that people are doing. That's not what love is, because many of us, guilty as well, are afraid to speak out against sin because of the persecution that comes along with it. So it's not just accepting the LGBTQ, oh, it's too many letters. It's not just accepting that. It's not just accepting my adulterous friend, my fornicative brothers and my fornicative sisters, and even my fornicative selves. It's more to it than just saying, it's okay, God forgives you. No, when are you going to speak up and say something? That's the question. You know, it's more than just disciplining everybody because you're wrong too. Do you know when to speak? Do you know not when to speak? Wisdom. That's the key here. You know, so let's begin to ask God for wisdom. Let's begin to ask him for understanding. Let's begin to ask him for knowledge. Let's not keep going forward asking him for things all the time. The things are going to come. We love to quote the Bible. We love to talk about David. We love to talk about Paul. We love to talk about James. We love to talk about the prophets and all that. But there's one person that not too many people talk about, and that's Solomon. And guess what Solomon asked God for? Wisdom. And because he asked for wisdom, God gave him everything. You know, now I'm not asking you to ask for wisdom so that you can gain everything, but I'm asking you to ask for wisdom so that you can gain the ability to handle everything. Think about it. That was good, Lord. So listen, 2025, it's going to be just like every other year. There are going to be events that take place that are going to be signified in the prophetic. But I'm not here to do that. I'm simply here to just say, learn the lessons. Learn from your mistakes. Learn what to do and what not to do. Learn how to love your brothers and your sisters. Learn how to rightly divide the word of truth. Learn how to pray for Trump and how to pray for Kamala Harris and how to pray for Joe Biden and how to pray for the legislative branches and how to pray for these other countries. Learn how to pray for them. I know they wicked, but don't talk about them. Just pray for them. Learn how to stand 10 toes on the word of truth. Learn how to endure persecution. Learn, and don't be like a lot of people. We just hide behind the screen. We hide behind the screen because I'm safe there. I'm safe behind this screen. You can't hurt me from here, you know? And that's how a lot of us live our lives, behind the screen, because at least you can't persecute me from here, you know? So we got to get bold in Christ. You know what I'm saying? And so, man, look, I just want to let you know I love you. This year, I had the opportunity to start a podcast called Triggered. We're going to be working on that, but there's a lot of things that I want to learn before I continue with that. So y'all be on the lookout. We're going to have a great year, but we're not going to have a great year because we begged God for stuff. We're going to have a great year because we chose to learn the lesson. It's easy.
Let me trigger you, is what I'm trying to do. Let me trigger you.
Let me trigger you.
Just let me trigger you, that's what I'm trying to do. Let me trigger you.
Let me trigger you.
Let me trigger you, that's what I'm trying to do. Let me trigger you.
Let me trigger you.
Just let me trigger you, that's what I'm trying to do. Let me trigger you.
Let me trigger you.
Let me trigger you, that's what I'm trying to do. Let me trigger you.
Let me trigger you.
Just let me trigger you.